Hello everybody, we're getting some more stuff, and today, the PEGCAST freaking returns. This is probably going to be the last PEGCAST for a while, but the PEGCAST is here for one episode, and I'm going to do my best to finish talking about my Japan trip, but I probably won't be able to. So, last time, we finished my favorite day of the trip, and talked about when we went to Uji. Sorry, there's a car right behind me. I just dropped off Cammy at the airport. And, so I'm trying to... Yeah, I'm good. So, the next day is our final full day of the trip. It's 2 more days, but this is the last full day where we're, like, off and doing fun stuff. So, basically, we wake up early and we try to go to this cafe. Cammy had found this cafe beforehand and decided that we should try to go because they had some cool vegan stuff and it was just gonna be fun. So we get ourselves ready and we go. I still have my umbrella. I still have my umbrella at this point. I have my umbrella the whole freaking trip. I don't know what I'm saying. Like, ever since I got it, I have it. So we go to this cafe and we're walking through like what feels like back alleys. I feel like a lot of the places, or a lot of the walks that we went on in Tokyo felt like there's like one major road and then everything else kind of has the vibe of it being like an alleyway. I think these are just normal like street roads, you know, as opposed to like a big highway or something. But that's just the way they felt to me, was that they seemed like alleyways, kind of. And so, I mean, they were big, but there was like no sidewalk, you know? And it was rare that a car would go down them. So we're walking through these like alleys, we're having a good time. We finally get to the cafe and we find that it's closed. And we're like, what? And we look on our phones and it says that the cafe is closed. And we're like, well, that was a fumble. So we just like walk around the corner to Family Mart, because our plan for the day is to go to the Nintendo store early, and then immediately after going to the Nintendo store, go to Toyosato. Toyosato is the city where K-On!, my favorite anime ever, takes place, and was the original kind of like driving motivation for the trip. And so we go to a Family Mart, like a convenience store, in between where we are and the Nintendo store in Kyoto. And we buy hash browns because Family Mart has vegan hash browns. These hash browns are essentially just pucks of potato, but in the best way possible. You know what I mean? They're just great. And so we go and get 2 of those. I think 2 each, question mark? I don't remember, but I think we got 4 or something. And then we finished them and thought, oh man, that was a really freaking yummy, delicious meal. That was really insanely yummy. We need more of that. But I was too embarrassed to go back in. So we send Cammy back in, and we were just talking about it. Some of the details are a little blurry because it's actually been super, super long. We're coming up on like a year out from the trip at this point. We're not actually that close to it, but you know, it's been months. It's been months and months and months since we went on this trip. So, you know, some of the details are blurry. I don't remember how many we got, but I remember thinking that we were like vile for the amount of hash browns we got. I remember thinking like, I don't know if they'll have that many hash browns ready, because we were just buying out all the freaking hash browns. So that was kind of funny. But we got so many hash browns, they were so yummy. And then we must have gotten, here's the real blurry detail. We remembered pretty much everything pretty well, and everything lined up with the pictures we took. The one thing we couldn't figure out is when we ate lunch. We couldn't figure out when we ate lunch, and like additionally, we couldn't figure out what we ate for lunch. It must have just been like a tofu stick or an onigiri or something, but we just couldn't figure it out. But the point is, we probably bought lunch then. That's probably when we did it. And so that was, you know, that was when that happened. Then we take the bus and, you know, head off to the Nintendo store. So the Nintendo store was in this like very busy, like large mall type of place. It wasn't actually a mall. It was just like a road. How do you describe this? It's like a street where the left and right sides are both like big department stores. And it's not like the department store itself has a name. It's just like a bunch of different, it is a mall essentially on the left and the right, but every store like is separate and you can kind of enter from wherever. I don't know. But there were big malls everywhere. I'm describing this terribly. I can see it in my head, but I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, we decide to go into this mall because we're trying to find the Nintendo store. And we're like, oh God, where is it? And we asked this person. And they were like, haha, just go this way. And we like totally bungled the directions. Like, because there's a guy standing like near the front on the bottom floor with Mario with a pipe. And he's like, come take pictures. And we're like, oh yeah, we're taking pictures with freaking Mario. But we couldn't figure out what his directions meant about how to get to the Nintendo store. So we just kind of got lost a little bit. We finally make it, and it was just super fun to be in there. They had tons of cool merch and stuff. We ended up getting Pikmin for Kenzie. We texted Kenzie like, oh Kenzie, who are your 2 favorite Pikmin? Because we got Kenzie 2 little Pikmin plushies, like keychain plushies. And so that was really fun. It felt like a good addition to the gifts because at this point we had like 3 things for Dusty and Maya, because we had the stuff from Sanrio Land or Sanrio Puro Land. We had the like keychains. We had the Calcifer tote, and we had matcha. And so that was 3 things. And at this point, we're still on the hunt for if we can find Mocha, the rabbit that looks like freaking Cinnamoroll, who looks like a dog, if we're honest. So we were like, you know what, getting 2 Pikmin for Kenzie in addition to the tote, the Kiki's tote, is like probably good. So we did that, and then there was a line, a very short line, but a line to play Mario Kart World before it came out. So Cammy and I line up, and I'm like, I don't really care what happens. I don't expect the game to feel good right immediately, because I have played a lot of 2 different Mario Kart games. So my hands will default to one of those Mario Kart games, and I will mess up because my hands are defaulting to those, if that makes sense. Like when I'm drifting, in Mario Kart Wii, the drift like turns really fast. And in Mario Kart 8, the drift turns really slow. But if I play Mario Kart on the GameCube or the DS, then like my muscle memory is totally wrong and I always crash into everything. So I was like hoping that the game didn't feel like easy to me, because if it didn't, it means that it's actually like pretty significantly different from both Mario Kart, or from Mario Kart 8, you know? And we've been playing Mario Kart 8 for like God knows how long at that point. Well, it would have been 2025, question mark, 2024, 2025. And Mario Kart Wii U, Mario Kart 8 came out in like 2014 maybe? 2012 or 2014. So it's like old, you know? And so I was just hoping for something different. And so we start up the game, and something that's super cute is like you can put your face in the circle on the game. Like there's a little webcam, and this webcam, like you move your cursor to select where your face is, and when you select your face, it like sets that part of the webcam to be like where you are, and it'll show like that point as like your reaction. So like if I make a crazy face, it doesn't like track my face, it just sets wherever I set it. And if I make like a whoa face when I get hit with a banana, then like it'll show my face and whatever. And we were like, that is freaking adorable, that's so cool. And so Cammy and I start playing. I played Peach and Cammy played as Cow, because you can play as Cow. I actually don't think Cammy played as Cow. Who did Cammy play as? I don't remember who Cammy played as, but something in me tells me that it wasn't Cow. Well, I don't remember. But maybe I'll add it later, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll fix it, maybe I won't. But what was really fun was like just getting to try out the game. And we played on the like Shy Guy Bazaar level where you drive through the desert a little bit, and I was like crashing into some stuff, you know. I did end the race first. It wasn't like a travesty, but I certainly was not like destroying, you know. And so I was really happy about that. Although the game wasn't like the most satisfying experience in the moment, just because it was so new and it was so different, I was like really happy that that was the case, because that means that there are some legs on this video game. And I can tell you since then that I've played a ton and it's been super, super fun. I've loved Mario Kart World. It's like definitely my favorite non-Mario Kart Wii Mario Kart. I would say that it's the best Mario Kart by far. But Mario Kart Wii like has a special place in my heart, and I think that the racing of it is really fun. Like I think the actual racing mechanics are my favorite in that game. But I think that Mario Kart World is a better package. So we play and I get first, and while I'm playing there are like maybe 4 Japanese people behind me and behind Cammy as well. And I heard them say that I was good. Like I was really good, and they were impressed by me playing Mario Kart. I couldn't understand most of what they said, but like I would drift around a corner and then do the boost and like grab an item, and they would be like, wow, he's freaking good. And I would be like, yes, because like they don't even know I can hear them. You know what I'm saying? They just see me and they think, oh, look at that white person, they're pretty gaming right now, they're impressive at Mario Kart. So that was like a real ego boost. That was super fun. And there's no way I'm getting through this whole story, through the whole day, or the whole trip. I might get through the day, but yeah, so that was super, super fun. We go, we check out. I didn't really get anything else. We asked if they had the Pikmin vases, like flower vases, and they were like, no. And we were like, okay, that's fine. And so, yeah, that was that. Then we were like, okay, we have to go immediately to Toyosato, because that's just the way that the time is working out. We have to go now. And it was intentional, you know, like we set it up so we would go to the Nintendo store, we would check it out, we would then go to Toyosato, and that would be it. Boom, boom, boom. And then I realized that I did not put deodorant on that morning. And this was a time in my life that has since passed where I did not put deodorant on most days. Because I simply was not that smelly. Something changed, Penguins. Now I have to put deodorant on a lot more. It was since like moving out to Redlands. But at the time I did not have to put deodorant on every day unless it was going to be hot. And it was going to be hot. It was going to be humid, and the sun was going to be evil. And so I was like, this is not okay. And so we pop into this big drugstore, and we just cannot find deodorant. And we can't ask anyone either for help, because it's not very like well staffed. Like, there are 3 people working and they're all at the register, and there's like a big line to get to the register. So there's no one we can really ask and say, where is deodorant? And you know, it's just like a little bit screwed. And so we're looking, we're like, oh my god, do they not have deodorant in this stupid place? Like, is there literally no deodorant? What is happening? And we almost gave up, but it was like a panic, because it's like, what do? We can't go home. Like, we can't go to the hotel. It's too far. And we like might not make it to Toyosato and then have a bunch of time there and then like be happy about it. So we were like panicking. Cami finds this little deodorant stick, and it's tiny. It's like the tiniest little travel size deodorant. And it was like, oh my gosh, thank the heavens. You know, it was like actually a blessing. Like, phew. But yeah, so Cami found that, and we were also there because Cami's symptoms started to become more real today. So we wanted to get, because she was sick, and this was like her first day of actual sickness. It wasn't that bad. Like it didn't like get in the way of anything we did on this day, but she did feel it at certain parts. So we bought her cough drops, and these cough drops are weird because they were unflavored. They were just like absolutely tasteless cough drops, and so that was kind of weird to her. I didn't eat one, so I can't vouch. But yeah, so Cami saves me with the little baby deodorant find. We buy the deodorant and we immediately go to visit Toyosato. So we take the bus, we get to Kyoto Station, because you take the Kyoto Station train. I don't remember what train you take, but you go from Kyoto Station to this other place and then transfer there onto like a super old train. And so we get to Kyoto Station, and Cami is like dying of the heat because I think she's wearing jeans. And I'm like, okay, Cami, this is not okay. And she's like, oh, but, and I'm like, no buts, we're going to Uniqlo, because there's a Uniqlo inside Kyoto Station. So we hurry over to the Uniqlo, and before our train, I leave Cami in there because I can't really stay with her in line. And I go to this little like grocery konbini type deal, and I'm looking for a yummy juice. I'm just on the hunt for a yummy juice, and I'm using the rule of like in Japan they have like strict rules about the labels on beverages, and maybe I've said this in a previous episode, but it's been months. It's been 2 months since the last one came out, literally. So if there is a cartoon picture of a fruit, that means that it is 0% fruit juice. If there is if there's a real picture of a fruit, that means it's like 99% to, I think it's like 1% to, I don't remember. There's no fruit juice if it's a cartoon. There's like 0 or 1 to 99% if it's a cartoon, and then if it's cut open, like the fruit is halfway open, like you can see the inside of it, then it's 100% fruit juice, I think. But it might be that the cartoon is 0 to 50%, and then it's 50 to 99, and then 100. But whatever, you get the gist. I'm using that rule to like pick out a juice. And I find this one, and I'm like, this looks kind of yummy. And so I take out that app that like tells you all the ingredients in something, because there's like an app where you can scan any barcode of any like Japanese like grocery store item, and if you scan it, it'll tell you all the ingredients in English. And that was big because I'm vegan, and it turned out that they had sneakily put some non-vegan things into that juice. And so I was like, what the heck? Maybe I should just get like a lemon tea type deal. And then I hear from Cami that she's done. So, you know, that kind of made it so I just had to give up. No juice for Batpeg. But we meet up, and Cami has this white Airism shirt which is just like the Uniqlo like white exercise type shirt, you know, like super airy, helpful. And then these adorable little blue and white super thin vertical stripe shorts. And she just looked like such a tourist. It was so freaking cute. She was like, I really lost the battle. I didn't want to look this much like a tourist, like, but here I am. And I'm like, well, to be fair, you're obviously a tourist. And she's like, yeah, I know, but still, you understand. And I do understand. But that's, you know, what had to happen. So we get her cutie outfit and we hurry onto the train. And then, you know, we take the train to whatever station we're supposed to go to. We get off and then we have to wait. Oh my gosh, that's gotta be when we ate. Maybe it's not, but it feels like a good time. We had to wait at this train station for the like old-timey type train to get there, didn't we? No, we didn't. We almost missed it. Wait, so what the heck am I saying? Okay, we get off the train and the like old train is like getting there immediately. So we're like, uh-oh, we gotta go. And we hurry and we like run up. I'm pretty sure this is where this happened. We had to like run up the middle stairs and then go down the outside stairs, and we had to do it fast, and we had to make sure we went the right way. And then you get there, and this train is so old that it doesn't have like an IC card tap situation. So we had to pay by like physical money. This is one of like 2 things that required us to have physical yen, to have paper money. Literally one of 2 things, I'm pretty sure, on the entire trip. I think everything else, it would have been cool for us to pay with a credit card or like our Suica card, like our transit card that we paid for. So we okay, I just had to make sure I was going the right way. I'm looking around at my surroundings and seeing if I recognize anything, and I do recognize some things. So I have not missed a turn. I'm pretty sure I know where to go. Well, I'm not pretty sure. I do know where to go. I just, I'm not confident because I've just been focusing on the PEGCAST and driving, you know, not like where I'm going. Because everybody knows you have to practice safe driving. Everybody practice safe driving. So yeah, we pay with our paper money. We get on the old train. The old train is like, you know, it's honestly not that different from like what the new trains are. The main difference was just how you had to pay to get on. And luckily the people there were like really helpful with us spending our physical currency. And so, you know, like, I guess I was really worried about that, but I shouldn't have been, because presumably it's like a large portion of the people that take this train are tourists, right? Because like, why would you go to or from Toyosato? I mean, there are like 3 other locations that you can take the train to, but like, you know, you understand. Also, the train had like an anime girl mascot, and apparently this like short little like old train line has like 2 or 3 anime girl mascots for the train, which is pretty fun. I find it kind of weird that it's not just like a K-On train. You know, like if you're gonna put an anime girl across the side of this train, you have some anime girls to pick from. But whatever, you know, it's just the way that I felt. And then, you know, we finally get there, and there's immediately like this little tourist, like, what do you call it? It's like an information, like, tourist booth center thing. But it was just like a square gazebo building. I say gazebo because it was like a gazebo, but it had some walls. So it's like technically not one, but it was so bare bones that it was the feeling it gave was gazebo. And So we went in there and we were like, there's nothing in here, let's just go. There's a cute pastry shop with some K-On! Posters in there, and we're like, let's just go. We just gotta go. Because it is unfathomably hot. It is evil hot out. And so we go and we walk to Toyosato Elementary School. Is that what it was? Yeah. It's Toyosato Elementary School that was used as the model for the high school in K-On! And now it's like primarily a museum, I think. Although I think they do some like classes or daycare stuff there. But whatever. Cammie saw it on the train, and I was like, "Are you sure?" Like, I'm not sure. And I couldn't really see what she was seeing, but she did see it on the train. But you know, as we walked from the train station, we passed like some rice paddies, and I'm like, "Wow, this really like." I don't know, this gives me the vibe of what the town was like from watching the show in just like a way that was really fun. As unfathomably weeaboo as this is, like this is an embarrassing story to think about for me. I gotta merge. But you understand, I had a great time. And so we come up from the back of the school and we walk around to the front. And from the front, it's like, oh my god, this is the freaking school. Like, it's real and we're here, and it's so cool at the gates. And as we walk up, a group of like 3 or 4 Chinese boys comes out. They're probably like 18. And we asked them to take our picture. Literally everybody we saw in Japan was Chinese. And we were like, can you please take our picture? And they're like, yes. But what was unfortunate about that is like, I don't know how to say picture in Mandarin or any other Chinese dialect for that matter. But I do know that in Japanese it's shashin. So I never got to use the word shashin the entire trip. But I just had a bunch of Chinese people take our pictures. There were some people that like, I remember when we were in the mall at the Totoro place, in Tokyo at the Skytree, there was a woman who walked up and asked to take our picture, and she said shashin, and I was like, yes. I don't remember what I said, but I was like, yes please, yes please, yes please, I want a picture taken. So yeah, we make it to the place, the school. We get our picture taken, and it was so great. And you know, you walk up and you have to take your shoes off immediately upon entering, and then you wear like these classic little freaking adorable, oh wait, I'm not turning here. You wear these classic little adorable indoor slippers that like, they're all one size, or they had like an adult size and a kid size, and the adult size was like a tiny bit too big for Cammie, but it fit really well. Which is to say that my feet dwarfed these things. It was unbelievable. Like, it was bad. But it was fun. I had a really good time wearing them. And I was like, man, like, when we live in Redlands, if we do like an indoor shoe type thing, it would be fun to have some slides that are this style for guests, because I really enjoy this style of slide. And then I was like, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I should get ones that aren't like this, because I'm not going to be the one wearing them, because I have my own indoor shoes that are so comfortable that I love. But the first thing we do when we get there is there's a bathroom, and Cammie gets to wash her hands, and her hands felt so dirty, and she just like has OCD about that, you know? She's like, oh god, I gotta wash my hands. So we were like, okay, let's find it. And we found it, and Cammie got to wash her hands, which was a big victory. Really quick, I'm gonna do an aside because I'm about to pull up to my home. Yesterday, Cammie and I found this cat who looked stray. She was like matted, she was dirty, but also she had really long fur. So it was like technically possible that she was someone's cat, and that she was just kind of dirty, you know? So we didn't really know, but we were trying to catch her. And long story short, this old woman like opens her patio door and comes out and is like, "Are you looking for your lost cat?" And we're like, "No, but there's this cat right here." And she describes the cat perfectly, and we're like, yeah, that is what the cat looks like. And she's like, "Oh, I take care of her. I brush her every single day, but her fur is long and it's falling out, so she looks like this." And then she was like, "I call her Hey Siri." I call her Hey Siri. And she goes, "Hey Siri!" and calls over Hey Siri. So, a beautiful, beautiful, cute little cat. It kind of broke my heart the next morning. Like, this morning I woke up and I was like, I wish that Hey Siri kitten was here. It kind of broke my heart, but whatever. So, yeah, Cammy washes her hands, and then we go into like the first room, and it's like full on a museum. It has like a model of the school, which is pretty cool. Oh, it's so nice to be done driving. It has like a model of the school in there, or of the whole building. And so that was really cool. What am I saying? Oh yeah, and then just like some other stuff, like some history, and we were like, this is cool, but like we're here for K-On! Type things, and this is like history of the building. And the whole building has like a tortoise and the hare motif. So on like all of the handrails at the stairs, there are like tortoises at the bottom, and then hares in the middle, and then tortoises at the top, which is so freaking cute. And it's so cute. They're all like made out of metal of some sort, like maybe brass, I don't know. And like you can tell, you know, when you like rub a statue, or when like people have rubbed statues forever and they like get shiny on those parts, they have like that on the turtle shells and the rabbits' heads and stuff. So that was really, really cute. But yeah, we left the museum, and if you're facing the building, like the way that we went in, and facing like the opposite of the way that we're facing coming out of the museum, we turn right, and just like walk down that way, and that takes us to, first of all, this little like hallway where I'm like, oh my god, this is that hallway, like I recognize it. I can like see so many scenes in this hallway. This is like a hallway where Yui like says something mature for the first time, you know, and like where she like left a candy trail to get her back to the club room, you know. And it's like, wow, this is so cute. And then we keep walking and come across the stage, which is, you know, obviously an important part of the show for a show about music. And also they just like have their assembly there at like the very beginning of school. And so I was like, oh my god, the stage. And there's a sign there that says, "Do not enter. There is a performance happening." But the doors are open and there's no performance. So we're like, let's just hurry. And we run in, and I like stood on the stage and we got some pictures, and it was like such an amazing, like emotional moment for me. Like I'm smiling so big. I was like tearing up, you know. I was just like really excited. And also the energy of everything with like, not like, you probably shouldn't go in there, but like it's fine just to go in there for a little bit, and like hopefully no one kicks us out before we like have our fun. Just like all of that emotion made me like kind of tear up. And from there we go upstairs and we find the club room. When we find the club room, there's like one other person in the entire rest of the building, and it's like a 20-something-year-old Chinese guy. So we totally lucked out, because there was like no, like we got to do everything we wanted to at our own pace, completely alone, and like have us time, you know. Like it was very special, like to us, and we didn't get bothered or anything. So we go into the club room, and there's like the blackboard at the front, and there are tons of messages from people, and there's some chalk. There are tons of like notebooks there for like people to write in. People have left notebooks. There's a bunch of sheet music sitting at the piano from the series. And there's like a paper that Yui used as like a face mask at one point that was like really funny. The frog statue is there. I love the frog statue. So just all really wonderful things. And so also like the table where they had tea all the time is there. And it's set up like as a tea party, and you can tell like who, like I remembered who sits where, and then like where Azusa sits, they have Azusa's special cup, you know? So cute. And then like where the couch is, there's like a bench. And Cami suggested that because we had set our bags there, she was like, oh, why don't we take a picture of our bags here? And I like cried. I was like, oh my God, that's so freaking cute. And it's like it's the cutest picture ever, to be honest. It's so cute. And so we wrote in one of the guest books. I was like, oh, thank you, because I was like the like that's what most people were writing, was like, oh, thank you so much for blah blah blah. And Cami drew the frog statue, and they were like colored pencils or something to color it into. And then on the blackboard, Cami drew, or wrote really, her favorite joke in K-On!, which is Maple Leaf, when Sawako like slaps her tummy and leaves a big red mark in the shape of her hand and yells Maple Leaf. And so she wrote that on the board and then drew like a sideways hand. And then she took a picture with like her slapping her belly next to it, which is like so freaking cute. And then the next room over are all their instruments, like a bunch of copies of them too. Like all their specific instruments from the show. And yeah, so then we, you know, pet the turtle in the hair in the stairwell and walk down. And then you leave the main entrance and you walk, like if you leave the main entrance, you're walking towards the front gate again. You walk that way and then you take a right. It's like connected, but not the same part. It's like not the same building. It's not technically connected, but it still is within the grounds. And it's like obviously the same building still. And it's like a gift shop in the front and then a museum in the back. The museum in the back is 2 stories and it's full of like every piece of K-On! Merch ever produced. They have like every figure, every poster, everything. It's insane. It's full. It's very, very cool. And then in the front, the gift shop is about Toyosato Elementary and not about K-On!, which is pretty cool. At least I thought so. And basically, like the weekend after or something, they were going to have a birthday party for 2 of the characters because their like birthdays were close enough. They were having like a joint party. And so it was going to be like a huge event. And we didn't go there, and we were so glad we didn't, because just getting to experience everything so slowly and at our own pace and like really soaking it all in was really, really amazing. So we just went to the gift shop and we bought a guitar pick. It was like a gachapon machine where you don't know what color guitar pick you'll get. And we got yellow, which is awesome because I love yellow. It was the best one. There were no bad options, but it was the best one. And we got a little keychain of the like brass tortoise in the hair. It's made of plastic, but it looks just like how it does in the school. And then what am I saying? What else did we get? There was a third thing. We got the guitar pick, we got the little keychain, and we paid for a brochure. It was like donations to keep the school running and like upkept. And so we donated, there was like a minimum amount of like $5 basically, I think, to like get this little brochure. And so we donated enough for like 3 of them and then got 2. And then there's like a little stamp thing with K-On! Stamps. And we were like, awesome, let's stamp our receipt. And so we stamped all the cute K-On! Stamps on the receipt. Oh my gosh, my throat is dry. I haven't done this in a long time. The PEGCAST. And so that was really fun. We got all the K-On! Stamps. We hurried back. Cami waited in the little like information tourist area. Visitor center maybe is what you would call it. Cammy waited in there while I checked out the pastry store. The worker wasn't in the pastry store, so I just got to kind of snoop around and like have a good time without being like, oh, like no, I can't eat any of this. Like, I'm vegan, you know? So, you know, that was nice. I just got to kind of snoop around and like see. It wasn't as K-On! Themed as like you might expect. But it was like they had some posters and it was just like a cute pastry shop, you know. I could have rung the bell to bring the lady out. And so then I go join Cammy. This place has no AC, it's so hot. So we walk up to the train station and Cammy buys a Calpis, which is funny because it's milk. And I'm like, Cammy, that's milk. And she's like, no, it isn't. And I'm like, yes, it is, man. Like, what are you talking about? And she looks up the ingredients and it is, in fact, milk. And then she tries to give it to someone. And she walks up and she doesn't know any Japanese. Cammy knows zero Japanese. Like, I've been carrying. She walks up and I don't know how to say this. Like, will you take this? Like, you know, like here, you know, a gift. I could say like it's a present. And the lady has no idea what Cammy is saying when she's speaking English. She's like, do you want this? Like, the lady turns to her son and says in perfect Mandarin Chinese, what is this lady talking about? And Cammy's like, oh, and then starts speaking in Chinese to them and like, you know, explains it all. And then she's like, do you want this? Like, it's still sealed. It hasn't been opened. It's like, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And then, you know, everything worked out. We got Cammy a drink and then we wait for the train. We take the train back. We pay with physical money. Everything works out. But we missed the first train. And that's why we had to wait in like the extreme heat. Because we like barely missed a train. And Cammy was like, I'm so sorry we missed it because of me. And I was like, we didn't. So it was fine. So that's where I'm going to end this PEGCAST. I have a lot more to talk about. But I've gotten through most of this day. And then it's just the final day. And the final day, there's a lot less to say because it was like primarily a travel day. We originally were thinking like maybe we could get up early and like go do something, or like, because I don't know, there were like options where if we like did specific travel routes at specific times, we would have been able to like go to a place that, what was I saying? We would have been able to like go to a shrine or like a park nearby, but we just didn't do that. So it's like, you know, so everybody comment below. Are you excited for the end of my Japan trip? Comment below. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe to all the stuff. Good. Bye.